Our vision for cancer research at Trinity College is to develop an integrated thematic programme which will involve basic science, translational medicine, diagnostics, therapeutics, clinical trials, patient treatment or clinical setting, health economics and planning, health management and policy, and global health.
The overarching theme is to try and establish the notion that cancer is a chronic disease. With advances that have been made in basic research and translational research, I think we're looking towards, in very many areas, treating cancer. Where possible, it's cured, but in many cases we can't completely eradicate the disease, but people nonetheless live good, quality lives.
My laboratory interests are in the impact of diet and obesity and lifestyle on the increasing amounts of cancer that we see in the Western world, and how obesity in particular can promote cancer risk, can alter the behaviour of cancers, and can present real problems in terms of patients' quality of life after cancer therapies. At the time of surgery, we take samples of fat and also liver samples and also blood samples, and we're looking at how the changes that are consequent in obesity, how that impacts on their metabolic well-being, and how that in turn impacts on what's happening in the cancer itself.
I am interested in the environment of cancer cells. Where the cancer cell grows, it's got this very uncanny ability to seduce the normal cells to collaborate with the cancer, to basically to protect the growing cancer cells and to induce them growing. The cancer cells can interact with the system of blood clotting and use the resultant molecules which are released during blood clotting to support its own growth. So by understanding this type of interactions, we may be able to design the molecules to stop these interactions between the blood clotting and cancer.
One of the big research projects that we have been looking at in the past 10 years has been, can we identify children who need less treatment? So the way we've got around that is to use molecular tools. So a molecular tool called Polymerase chain reaction, where we look at the level of leukemia within the child at a specific point. And if that is less than a given number, we randomize those children to see, can we actually treat less with less treatment, and those children have the same survival rates. The success rate is now in excess of 90%. They get less toxicity, less time in hospital, less time being readmitted to hospital, so there's huge savings there.
In immunology, the big question is, can we exploit the immune system to develop new treatments? So first we have to understand, why do we get aberrant cell growth, that is tumours, cancers? Why does it go wrong? And what role the immune system has in that? And then by answering these questions, we can then look, can we exploit this? That is, can we make new treatments, new strategies by using the immune system?
We have several of our research programs that work both in the basic science, translational science and health economic and planning space. One which is in my own lab called Survivor, which is in cervical precancer. They've been highly successful programs.
In the area of cervical cancer, one of the markers that was initially described in our lab is now used globally as a test to identify those lesions that are going from slightly worrisome towards cancer. And that's been used and implemented in labs all around the world. And we have a large number of people working looking at HPV viral infection in cancer of the cervix, trying to identify the subtypes of the virus that are present and the molecular changes that the virus induces in the cancer cells that actually transform them to become malignant.
Trinity brings a cohesion, it brings academic excellence, it also brings a tradition of scientific excellence, scientific achievement, both in the clinical and non-clinical cancer and non-cancer space.
The future is actually incredibly bright, and all of that is coming through all of our understanding about the genome and predominantly what's happening in cancer. and the genetics of cancer.
We have an institution that wants to create an ecosystem like this for cancer research and cancer treatment. If we can pull all of these strands together, I think we'll have done a great service to Irish medicine.